If you found this video, I want you to know there are no accidents in divine timing. The universe has a beautiful way of whispering confirmation into your life. And if you're seeing this right now, it may be because you've been quietly asking, is anything even working? Should I keep going? And I want to give you a gentle, loving answer. Yes, you're not crazy. You're not imagining it. The shift is happening. Even if the outer world hasn't changed yet, the inner signs are showing up, and those are the most powerful of all. In this message, we'll explore 8 signs that your manifestation is already working, even if you don't have the results in your hands yet. And as we go through them, I invite you to reflect. Which of these signs are you living right now? Leave a comment below to affirm it, because when you acknowledge your progress, you multiply your energy. Let's begin with the first and most sacred sign. Your inner peace is returning. There is a certain moment on every manifestation journey when something begins to soften. You may not have the money yet. You may not see the job offer. The relationship may not have arrived, but inside, your body begins to breathe differently. The urgency melts, the panic fades, and in its place is something still, something centered, something you might not have felt in a long time: peace. This isn't the peace that comes from getting what you want. This is the peace that comes from no longer needing it to prove anything. It's a deep spiritual shift. You start realizing that even before the blessing arrives, you already feel better. You're no longer asking from a place of lack. You're allowing from a place of trust. That is not a coincidence. That is not weakness. That is not giving up. That is transformation. That is evidence of alignment. In fact, it's one of the clearest signs your frequency has moved into receiving mode. You're no longer begging the universe, you're partnering with it. I want to remind you of this truth gently. When you shift from chasing to allowing, your vibration sends out a new kind of signal, one that says, I trust life now. And when you trust life, life trusts you. The miracle you've been asking for often walks in the moment you stop searching with stress and start noticing with gratitude. When you stop searching as if it's missing, that's when it starts to show up. It's not about needing less, it's about fearing less. This inner calm doesn't mean you've stopped wanting it. It means you've finally made peace with the process. It means you're no longer fighting yourself, you're not questioning your worth, you're not obsessing over timelines, you're breathing, you're being. And that beingness is powerful. You're resting in trust. You're vibrating in alignment. And that peace is the proof. You may not see the full picture yet, but your nervous system has stopped reacting to the absence. That's when it begins attracting presence. The presence of what you once thought was missing. So if you've been feeling that shift, if lately you've been thinking, it's okay, I don't have it yet, but I know it's on its way, then I want you to comment right now, peace is my proof, because it is. Peace is not passive. Peace is powerful. Peace is the frequency of faith. And when faith is present, manifestation is already in motion. You're no longer waiting, you're receiving. You're no longer begging, you're aligned. And if all you have today is this soft, quiet sense that somehow things are moving, even if you can't explain it. Hold on to that. That's a sign. That's the sign. And it's bigger than you think. Let yourself be proud of how far you've come internally. Let yourself celebrate your own peace. Because the truth is, when peace comes first, everything else falls into place. You've entered the beginning of your breakthrough. You're not at the end. You're in the glow before the arrival. And remember, the universe doesn't always shout, but it does always respond. The more peaceful you become, the more magnetic you become. Why? Because you're no longer standing in the way. You're no longer interfering with fear. You're finally cooperating with the miracle. You're available, you're open, you're ready. And when you're ready, the universe knows. So if today you feel calm in a place you used to panic, if you feel quiet where there used to be chaos, if you've stopped asking every 5 minutes, when will it come? Then I want to honor you. You've grown. And you are manifesting, even now, especially now. Which brings us to a question I want you to hold close tonight. What if the quiet you feel is not a lack of progress, but the presence of power? What if this peace is the exact vibration your desire needed to find you? What if you are closer than you think? Breathe with me. Inhale softly, exhale gently. Say this quietly with your hand over your heart. I trust the invisible. I trust the process. I trust the peace within me. And let that be your practice this week. Let peace be your evidence. Let trust be your vibration. Let stillness be your sanctuary. And let this moment be the turning point, not because everything has arrived yet, but because you've arrived at yourself. And that's where the miracle begins. So again, if you've seen even one of these signs in your life, especially this first one, the return of your peace, comment below, "Peace is my proof." Or tell me what other signs you've experienced. I'll be walking through all 8 in this video, and your comment might help someone else recognize their progress too. Because this isn't just about manifesting things, it's about manifesting a new way of being. And peace. Peace is the birthplace of it all. Let's continue. Sign 2. The synchronicities start appearing. When your manifestation is on its way, the universe doesn't always speak in sentences. It speaks in signs, in symbols, in soft echoes that find their way into your day when you least expect it but most need it. And if lately you've been noticing unusual patterns, divine timing, or curious coincidences that feel a little too perfect to be random, I want you to listen closely. That is not your imagination. That is confirmation. Synchronicity is the universe's way of saying, I see you, I hear you, I'm aligning things for you. It often starts subtly. You might be thinking about a decision and someone unexpectedly brings up the exact topic. You might be praying about a new path, and a podcast or video you weren't even looking for pops up and answers your question. You might see repeated numbers 111, 222, 555, or even see your birthday show up on a license plate or receipt. You might overhear a stranger say a phrase that speaks directly into your heart. And when these things happen, you don't just notice them with your eyes. You feel them in your chest, in your gut, in the hairs on your arms. Something inside says, this means something. And it does, because the universe doesn't waste energy. When synchronicities begin to appear around you, it's a reflection of what's happening within you. You are no longer operating from old frequencies. Your inner world is shifting and the outer world is mirroring it back to you. These moments are like echoes from the field of creation, bouncing back to you, saying, yes, keep going. You're on the right path. You might not have the full picture yet, but you're being sent light posts, glimmers, breadcrumbs that say, the invisible is becoming visible, one step at a time. You see, these synchronicities are not coincidences. They are sacred alignments. They're like a divine wink, a whisper from something higher. It could be the song that comes on right when you're doubting your dream and the lyrics say exactly what you needed to hear. It could be a person reaching out at the perfect time. A door opening just when you were about to give up. That's not randomness. That's resonance. That's the magnetic field of your belief interacting with the field of the universe. You're not just dreaming anymore. You're attracting. So let me ask you, have you been noticing this lately? Have strange, beautiful little confirmations been showing up? If so, I want you to gently say this with me right now. Thank you, universe, for the confirmation. I receive it, I trust it, I am aligned with it. Say it slowly. Let yourself feel it. Because these signs aren't just proof that something is happening. They are part of the manifestation. The journey is not only about what arrives in your hands. It's about what awakens in your spirit along the way. You don't need to analyze every symbol or force every number to mean something. Just breathe into the feeling they give you. That warmth, that smile that sneaks across your face when you see repeating numbers or hear a phrase that matches your prayer. That's your soul recognizing the language of the universe. A language that isn't spoken, it's felt. So trust that. You are being shown something in the language of divine love, in repetition, in rhythm, in resonance. Let it comfort you. Let it excite you. Let it strengthen your faith. You are not being ignored. You are being guided. There's something so tender and sacred about this part of the journey. You're no longer begging. You're in communication. You're not waiting helplessly. You're co-creating. And the more you acknowledge these moments, the more they multiply. So start your day by asking, show me something today that lets me know I'm on the right path. And then go about your day gently, staying open. You may be surprised by how often the universe responds. Not with lightning bolts, but with the softest nudges. And sometimes that's more powerful than any loud sign. This is how you know your manifestation is not a fantasy. It's not a dream you're hoping for. It's a reality that is coming closer. Why? Because you are now attuned to the signs. And when you are attuned, you are aligned. And when you are aligned, you are magnetic. Things begin to move not just through effort, but through energy. That's why noticing synchronicities isn't a passive act. It's a conscious opening, a sacred yes, a declaration to life itself. I'm listening. I'm ready. So if today, even one synchronicity has crossed your path, a number, a symbol, a word, a person, a perfect timing, I invite you to claim it. Type it in the comments, speak it aloud, or simply whisper in your heart. I see the signs. I welcome the unfolding. I am part of this divine dance. Because you are not being left behind. You are being prepared. And these signs are the language of love the universe is speaking to you in your own unique dialect. Trust them. And here's something I want you to remember always. The universe never shouts. It always speaks in frequencies, in feelings, in symbols. When you learn to listen softly, you'll begin to hear loudly. Your inner ears awaken before your outer world shifts. So take heart, dear one. Every synchronicity is a signal. Every symbol is sacred. And every moment of alignment is a magnet drawing your dream closer. Don't rush it. Don't doubt it. Just say thank you. Now, take a breath. Place your hand over your heart. Feel the warmth. That's your signal too. That's your alignment. You don't have to chase signs. You are the sign. The more present you become, the more miracles find you. So once again, let your spirit speak these words with full knowing. Thank you, universe, for the confirmation. I am open. I am listening. I am ready. Imagine you are walking through a soft forest at dawn. The air is quiet. The sun hasn't fully risen, but a golden glow gently touches the tops of the trees. You're not rushing. You're not forcing. You're simply walking and listening. And all of a sudden, you realize you can hear the whisper of the wind. You can hear the birds before they sing. You can feel the curve of the earth beneath your feet guiding you. That's what happens when your intuition begins to awaken. It's subtle, but deeply moving. You don't see fireworks or banners that say you're close. Instead, something shifts inside. You begin to feel guided, inspired, a little more tuned in to something deeper than logic. And it doesn't shout. It nudges, it stirs, it whispers. This is one of the clearest signs that your manifestation is working. You start to receive messages from the deeper part of you, and they don't come from thinking harder. They come from allowing, from quieting, from softening. Suddenly, you get an idea that seems to drop in from nowhere. A thought you weren't trying to think. A sentence in your dream that stays with you after you wake. A picture in your mind that brings you peace. That's not random. That's resonance. That's alignment. That's your spirit saying, I see what you've asked for, and here's the next little step. So many of us are used to doubting those soft promptings. We brush them off. We say, oh, that was just a thought, or that doesn't make sense. But when your energy is aligned and your vibration is clear, the messages you receive are no longer random. They are real invitations. You may find yourself walking into a bookstore and feeling pulled to one particular book. You open it, and a sentence jumps out at you with a message so personal it feels like a letter from the universe. That's a sign. You may find yourself dreaming about a place you've never been, but in the dream, it feels like home. That's a sign. You may be going about your day and hear a quiet voice inside that says, call this person, or try this new thing, or trust what you feel right now. That's not your imagination. That's your soul remembering its own power. And you don't have to understand it all in order to follow it. You just have to be willing. You just have to say, yes, I'm open to receive this message. Yes, I trust what I feel. Yes, I will take one small inspired step. You see, inspiration is not always loud. It doesn't always feel like certainty. Sometimes it feels like curiosity, or a little flutter in your chest, or a quiet knowing you can't quite explain. But it always comes with a sense of expansion. It lifts you, it excites something in you, and it makes you feel a little more alive. That's how you know it's real. That's how you know it's part of your alignment. So if you've been feeling like you're not doing enough, I want you to pause for a moment and recognize this. Your job is not to figure it all out. Your job is to listen and follow and allow. Your job is to say, I am open to receiving the next step, even if I don't see the whole staircase. Your intuition is not a luxury. It's not a random skill. It's a spiritual muscle that grows stronger the more you trust it. And right now, your soul is already showing you glimpses in your thoughts, in your dreams, in those small desires you keep brushing aside. Don't ignore them. Nurture them. That's how the manifestation is arriving quietly, faithfully, through the invisible threads of your inner knowing. And let's talk about dreams for a moment, because this is one of the most beautiful and often overlooked signs. When your energy is aligned, your subconscious begins to organize itself. It becomes clearer, and you'll start to notice your dreams become more vivid. You remember the details. You feel emotions more deeply. Sometimes you even receive symbolic guidance, like a key or a door or a wave washing over you. These images are not meaningless. They are the language of the soul. You may dream of walking into a house full of light. That's your inner self, creating a new energetic home. You may dream of flying. That's your soul telling you the limitations are gone. You may dream of someone handing you something, and even though you don't remember the words, you wake up feeling like something has shifted. That is a sign. That is movement. That is your inner being saying, yes, it's happening. Sometimes dreams come to confirm. Sometimes they come to release. Sometimes they come to prepare you. But in every case, they are a sacred space where your soul speaks without filters. And when you start noticing your dreams, when you begin waking up and feeling a message linger that is manifestation working behind the scenes, you don't have to analyze everything. You don't have to know why you dreamt of water or who that stranger was. Just bless the message, thank the guidance, and whisper to yourself, I'm listening, I'm open, I'm ready. That simple practice of acknowledging what you receive is powerful. It activates your trust. It deepens your alignment. It tells the universe, I notice the signs. I honor the process. I am not rushing. I am receiving. And the more you acknowledge, the more you will notice, the more you will feel, the more you will be led. This is not a race. This is a relationship between you and life, between you and your higher self. And when you open the channel of intuition, you open the gates to deeper manifestation. Because every true manifestation comes not from force, but from flow. And flow always begins with inner quiet, with trust, with the willingness to hear the gentle voice of your own soul. So if you've been experiencing more synchronicities in your thoughts, more moments of inner knowing, more vivid dreams that stay with you that is not random, that is a sign. That is spiritual communication. That is alignment. And I want you to start treating your intuitive nudges as sacred. When a thought excites you for no reason, write it down. When you wake up with a dream that stirs your heart, hold it with care. When you feel that little push to go somewhere or say something, trust that it came from a higher part of you that sees what your eyes cannot yet see. You are not making it up. You are waking up. And when you allow your life to be guided by this inner voice, you step into a new frequency of trust. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop forcing and start flowing. And that is how manifestation begins to bloom quietly, steadily, powerfully, from the inside out. Take a breath now. Place your hand on your heart and say this with me. I trust the voice within me. I am open to inspired guidance. I allow my soul to speak freely. One more time. I trust the voice within me. I am open to inspired guidance. I allow my soul to speak freely. And again, I trust the voice within me. I am open to inspired guidance. I allow my soul to speak freely. You don't have to understand everything. You just have to say yes to the next step. You are already receiving. Let yourself notice that. Let yourself be led. Let yourself rest in the knowing that your intuition is not just part of you, it is the bridge between who you were and the future you have already called in. Sign 4, the feeling of gratitude for no reason. I want to share something I've witnessed again and again, not just in my own life, but in the lives of so many beautiful souls on the healing journey. It often starts quietly. You wake up one morning and nothing major has changed. The bills are still there. The relationship isn't quite resolved. The job is still uncertain. And yet, something in your heart feels soft, light. There's a kind of warmth behind your eyes. You sit quietly for a moment, and without any prompting at all, you whisper, "Thank you." You don't even know what you're thanking life for. There's no big event, no dramatic breakthrough, no sudden manifestation, just a quiet sense of peace, as if something deep inside you already knows it's coming. You don't have to see the full evidence. You don't have to have the finished outcome. You just feel it. You feel held. You feel aligned. You feel grateful for no reason at all. And that, my dear, is one of the clearest signs your manifestation is already in motion. This kind of gratitude isn't the same as politeness. It's not about being a good person who says thank you to keep up appearances. No, this is the soul's language. It is how your spirit responds when it senses alignment, even before your logical mind understands why. Think about it. When something is truly on its way, you don't wait until it arrives to prepare. You start clearing space. You start smiling. You start humming in the kitchen while making your tea. This is energetic readiness. This is vibrational preparation. Gratitude before the blessing appears is not a fantasy. It's faith in action. It's a creative state, and the universe responds to it like a magnet. When you say thank you, not because you've been given something, but because you know something is shifting, that's creation at its highest level. That's what it means to live from the inside out. That's how miracles move. Now let's pause and reflect. Have you recently felt grateful without any external reason? Have you looked around your home, your body, your day, and just quietly smiled? Maybe you said, "I'm okay," even when you didn't know exactly why you were okay. That's not denial. That's not pretending. That's your inner being awakening. That's your spirit saying, the outer world doesn't define my inner world anymore. And that shift, my love, is powerful because manifestation doesn't require proof before belief. In fact, the energy of "I need proof" first often keeps the door closed. But the energy of "I already feel it, and I trust the unfolding." That energy opens gates. That energy transforms timing. That energy dissolves resistance. And when you begin to live in that state, when you stop asking, "Where is it?" and start saying, "Thank you for what I know is coming," you become a creative channel. Life can now flow through you. You are no longer blocking the river by checking the forecast. You become the river, flowing, joyful, alive. And that is why this sign, the feeling of gratitude for no reason, is so sacred. It is a state of co-creation. It means your heart is no longer chained to the conditions. It means you've broken free from needing external permission to feel good. And oh, what freedom that is. Gratitude is your compass. It tells the universe, "I am already receiving. I am already resonating. I am already aligned with abundance." You're not begging. You're not pleading. You're not bargaining. You are celebrating from within. Even if the money hasn't arrived yet, even if the relationship hasn't healed yet, even if the next chapter is still invisible, your soul says, "Thank you anyway. I know something sacred is happening." Let's go deeper. Have you ever seen a child who laughs for no reason, or a flower that opens before the sun is fully up? That's the energy we're talking about. Joy without condition. Gratitude without transaction. Alignment without needing control. And the irony is, the moment you enter that frequency, things begin to move. Unexpected opportunities appear. People reach out. You feel guided to take actions that suddenly yield fruit. Why? Because you're no longer resisting the flow with doubt. You're welcoming it with trust. And trust is a creative force. Trust tells the universe, "I am ready to walk with you, even if I can't see the full road." And the universe responds with grace. It always does. So let me give you a simple but powerful affirmation. Thank you for the things I cannot yet see, but already feel are on their way. Say it with me now. Thank you for the things I cannot yet see, but already feel are on their way. Again, thank you for the things I cannot yet see, but already feel are on their way. This is not just a phrase. It's a tuning fork. It calibrates your vibration to receiving. It reminds your nervous system that you are safe, not because you have control, but because you have connection. When your soul is connected to Source, you are no longer shaken by delay. You are grounded in divine timing. And that, my love, is spiritual maturity. That is powerful energy. That is the soil in which manifestations bloom. Now, let's be honest. This kind of gratitude may feel unfamiliar at first, especially if you've grown up believing that joy must be earned, that peace must be justified. That worthiness depends on performance, but those were old scripts, not your truth. Your truth is this: you are allowed to feel good right now. You are allowed to smile before the thing shows up. You are allowed to rest in the energy of trust. You are allowed to say, I feel blessed, even while you are still becoming. And the more you allow this, the more you begin to see the miraculous unfold. Because joy is not a reward. Joy is a frequency. Peace is not a prize. Peace is a practice. And gratitude is not a checklist. It is the very language of creation. If you find yourself sitting in the quiet today, feeling grateful for your breath, your pillow, your progress, don't dismiss it. That is not small. That is a spiritual turning point. That's when you've stopped living by the world's metrics and started living by your soul's compass. And if that's happening to you even a little, then yes, your manifestation is working. You're getting closer. You're becoming the kind of person who doesn't need proof to feel safe, who doesn't need everything perfect to feel peace. You're vibrating with the outcome even before it's visible. That's how real change happens. That's how big blessings sneak in through the back door while you're too busy smiling at the morning light. So today, pause and notice. What are you already grateful for that hasn't even arrived yet? Maybe it's the healing of a relationship. Maybe it's a new chapter in your purpose. Maybe it's peace in your finances. Maybe it's simply feeling more like yourself again. Whatever it is, bless it now. Bless it ahead of time. Speak to it as if it's already on the way, because in truth it is. Your soul doesn't lie, and your joy, when it rises unprompted, is not a fluke. It is evidence. It is alignment. It is a signal. The old you needed something to change before you felt safe. The new you, you're choosing peace in advance. You're creating joy before the outcome. You are manifesting from love, not lack. And that is a profound shift. Take another breath now, hand on heart. Close your eyes if you'd like, and say, I give thanks before I see the change. I give thanks before I hold the answer. I give thanks because my soul already knows it's mine. Again, I give thanks before I see the change. I give thanks before I hold the answer. I give thanks because my soul already knows it's mine. Let that feeling grow. Let it fill your chest. Let it soften your mind. Let it wrap around you like a warm shawl of invisible blessings. You don't have to chase anymore. You don't have to beg. You just need to allow and give thanks for what's already blooming, even if it's still underground. You are not waiting. You are receiving. You are not hoping. You are becoming. And the feeling of gratitude with no reason, that is reason enough to celebrate. Let's come to sign 5, the one that confuses so many beautiful souls on their journey. If you've been seeing things fall apart lately, I want to gently offer a different lens. Sometimes, the clearest sign that your manifestation is already working is when something old begins to dissolve. Not because you did something wrong, but because you finally did something right. You see, when you've truly shifted your frequency, when you've begun to align with the life you want to receive, the universe begins a quiet process of removal. Things that no longer match your new vibration, relationships, routines, environments, identities begin to release their grip. And while this release is sacred, it rarely feels comfortable at first. We often confuse breakdown with failure, but in truth, breakdown is birth. When the ground beneath your feet begins to shake, it may be because life is planting new roots through you. Sometimes you'll notice that people you once leaned on begin to pull away. Certain conversations no longer feel nourishing, or a job that once made you feel secure now feels suffocating. These are not signs of loss. These are signs of release, and release is the language of transformation. A dear listener once wrote to me in tears, saying, "Louise, I asked for a life of peace and joy, and then everything fell apart, and I gently told her, 'Beloved, that is not collapse. That is cleansing. Life is removing what peace could not coexist with.' Isn't that beautiful? You are not being punished when things fall away. You are being prepared. You are being restructured to hold more of what your soul has asked for. I want you to think of an old, overgrown garden. In order to plant something new, you first have to clear the weeds. You might need to dig up roots that have been buried for years. That process can look messy, but it is purposeful. So if things feel messy right now, if certain chapters are closing without your consent, take a breath with me. Let's pause together. Place your hand on your heart. Feel it beat. That's life still choosing you. That's evidence that your process is not over. And now say gently, "Everything that is leaving my life is making space for something better. I trust the clearing. I honor the empty space, because sometimes the emptiness is a sacred invitation, an echo of what is on its way." You don't have to love the feeling of letting go, but you can learn to trust its purpose. If a relationship ends, if a door closes, if a dream shifts form, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try whispering, "What is this preparing me for?" That one question changes everything. Because what feels like destruction on the outside may be divine construction underneath. One of the most powerful forms of spiritual maturity is recognizing the blessing inside the breakdown. Not because you force yourself to feel grateful for pain, no, that's not love, but because you begin to understand that growth often hides in the rubble, and your heart is strong enough to rise again. Now let me ask you this. Have you been noticing things fall apart lately? Not in dramatic explosions, but in soft disconnections? The friend who no longer calls, the opportunity that suddenly vanished, the routine that stopped feeling right. All of these can be signs that your vibration has changed. When you grow, your frequency grows with you. And when your frequency rises, what once fit will begin to feel foreign. This is natural. This is necessary. You are becoming the version of you that your manifestation requires. And that version needs room to breathe. So the universe lovingly removes what no longer belongs, not to hurt you, but to hold you. You see, darling, a manifestation doesn't just bring things into your life, it also gently takes things out. The law of vibration is always working. You don't have to beg it, you don't have to control it. You simply align with it. And alignment often looks like release. Just like a tree lets go of its leaves in autumn, you are allowed to let go of what no longer serves your season. The falling is not the end. The falling is the beginning of your flowering. So if something old is falling away in your life right now, I want you to breathe. You are not broken. You are blooming. Let this be your affirmation today. I trust the falling away. I trust the divine reordering of my life. What is meant for me cannot be lost, and what is no longer mine is making space for joy. Say it again, slowly, from your heart, because each word creates space in your vibration for something new. Your manifestation is not delayed. It is being refined. It is being purified through the collapse of the old. And one day soon, you will look back at what you're walking through right now and you'll say, that wasn't destruction. That was design. You are not being left behind. You are being led forward. And the path may not look like you expected, but it will be beautiful. It will be aligned, and most of all, it will be true. Trust the timing, trust the pruning, trust the release. Let the old fall so the new can rise. And if this sign feels like yours, if you feel like you're in the middle of something falling apart, but your heart still hopes, I invite you to comment below. I trust the breakdown. I am ready for the breakthrough. Let the universe hear you. Let your soul feel your yes. Because what's breaking is not your dream. It's the shell that no longer fits it. Have you ever found yourself sitting in a room you used to love, and suddenly something feels off? You look around and nothing has changed. Same faces, same places, same laughter, same routine, and yet deep within you, there's a quiet unrest. A subtle sense that you don't quite belong here anymore. That's not something to dismiss. That's a sign that your soul has already begun to move, even if your outer life hasn't caught up yet. This is sign 6, the feeling of restlessness, and the sense that you no longer fit into the spaces that once felt like home. It can be disorienting. The job you once prayed for starts to feel dull. The people you used to enjoy being around now leave you feeling strangely alone. Your favorite hobbies no longer light you up. Even the clothes in your closet, once a reflection of your identity, begin to feel like costumes you're trying to grow out of. And the most confusing part? Nothing's wrong. You're just different. It's not that the world around you has shifted. It's that you have, quietly, gradually, your energy has evolved. Your frequency has changed. Your desires have deepened. And what once aligned with you now echoes with a faint, not anymore, is one. That restlessness you feel is not a flaw. It's a signal. You are being summoned, called into expansion. You're not lost, you're being led, and the discomfort is proof that you're ready for more. You see, the soul always knows before the mind does. It sends subtle messages, a sigh of boredom, a jolt of irritation, a sudden lack of interest, an ache for something new. But the mind, attached to the familiar, resists. Why mess up a good thing? It asks. Why risk leaving this comfort? And so begins the friction between where you are and where your soul is headed. That friction is sacred. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means something greater is trying to emerge. The misalignment is a clue that your current environment can no longer hold the full expression of who you are becoming. And instead of blaming yourself or others, or trying to shrink to fit back into what's no longer meant for you, I want you to breathe. This isn't a crisis, it's a calling. There's a beautiful quote I often share. You're not being ungrateful, you're being called. Called to deeper joy, greater service, higher alignment. And yes, sometimes that means outgrowing people, patterns, and places that once felt like home. Growth isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers through discomfort, through the sense that something isn't quite right, through the feeling that you're waiting for something, even if you don't know what it is yet. If that's where you are, I want to say this clearly. You're not stuck. You're just in the hallway between what was and what will be, between the version of you that needed those old spaces and the version that's now ready to bloom in new ones. And the hallway is holy. It's not meant to be rushed. It's meant to prepare you, to stretch you, to awaken your desires, to teach you how to listen again, not to the noise around you, but to the voice within you. So if you're in a season of not quite fitting, not quite seeing, not quite knowing, honor it. Don't numb it. Don't escape it. Instead, ask it, what are you showing me? Because this kind of restlessness is a divine discomfort. It's the language of becoming, the gentle nudge that something more aligned is coming. But first, you must release the need to stay where you no longer belong. You don't have to know the next step. You only have to trust that the current one, even if it feels like standing still, is not wasted. Nothing is wasted, especially not the ache to grow. You're allowed to feel grateful for what you have and hungry for something new. That doesn't make you selfish. It makes you ready. Ready to move with the energy of life rather than against it. Ready to let go of should and move towards soul. Let this be your affirmation. I am not behind. I am in transition. My restlessness is sacred. It is the echo of the future calling me. I trust where my soul is leading. Say it again, slowly, out loud. Let it sink in. I trust where my soul is leading. Because every time you honor that voice inside, the one that says, this isn't it anymore, you open space for what is, for what will light you up again, for what will feel like home again, not because it's familiar, but because it's true. And truth always fits. Sometimes the most confusing part of transformation isn't what you're gaining, it's what you're losing. Let's talk about sign 7. People leaving your life, often without warning, without explanation, without conflict, and without closure. If this is happening to you, I want you to pause for a moment and take a deep breath. Because while it may feel like abandonment, it might actually be protection. And while it may feel like rejection, it may actually be realignment. You see, not everyone is meant to walk with you through every chapter of your life. Some people were assigned to you only for a specific season, a specific purpose, a specific lesson. And once that purpose is fulfilled, their presence naturally begins to dissolve. Sometimes they drift away. Sometimes they pull away. Sometimes life just separates you. And it's tempting to analyze it, to chase closure, to wonder what went wrong. But what if nothing went wrong? What if this is just what it looks like when your energy evolves faster than theirs? As you heal, grow, and elevate your vibration, your soul naturally begins to filter out relationships that no longer align with your truth. It's not about judgment. It's not about superiority. It's about resonance. And when two souls no longer resonate, distance arises not because of failure, but because of frequency. When this happens, it's not always loud. It can be quiet, almost invisible. One day you realize you haven't heard from them. One day you notice your heart doesn't feel safe with them anymore. One day you just stop reaching out, and a part of you wonders why. But a deeper part of you already knows. You're not broken for noticing the shift. You're not cold for allowing it. You're not unloving for moving forward without needing them to come along. You are simply becoming more you. And as you do, the people who are not aligned with your next chapter will naturally fall away. Sometimes it hurts. Let's not pretend it doesn't. You shared laughs, secrets, memories. You were close, and now there's silence where there used to be noise. That grief is real, and it deserves to be felt. But don't confuse grief with guilt. Don't confuse loss with wrongness. I want you to hear this in your heart. You are allowed to outgrow people without bitterness. You are allowed to love someone and still let them go. You are allowed to miss them and still know their absence is necessary. Sometimes the clearing of people is the clearing of space. Space for those who see you now, not who you used to be. Space for relationships built on truth, not just time. Space for connection that nourishes your becoming, not just your past. I trust that the universe is always removing what no longer serves me and gently replacing it with something better. Say it again with me now. I trust that the universe is always removing what no longer serves me and gently replacing it with something better. And again, because sometimes the heart needs to hear it more than once. I trust, I release, I allow. This isn't about blaming others. It's not about labeling them as toxic. Sometimes it's just about realizing that your soul has grown in a direction theirs hasn't chosen to follow. That's okay. You don't have to force what no longer fits. You don't have to fix what was never broken. You simply have to trust the wisdom of the transition. This is the hidden blessing of loss, clarity. Every departure reveals something. It reveals what you truly need. It reveals how deeply you're willing to honor your peace. It reveals the relationships that were built on old wounds and the ones that can rise with your healing. Most of all, it reveals this truth: you are never alone. Even as people walk away, life sends new ones. Souls who match your now, souls who love your truth, souls who speak the same spiritual language as you do. And so, if you're in a season of losing people, don't panic, don't spiral, don't chase, just listen. Listen to what your soul is saying underneath the sadness. Listen to what your future is whispering through the quiet. Let go with grace. Bless them as they leave. And remind yourself, I am being aligned. I am being refined. I am being prepared for greater harmony deeper love, and richer connection. Let this be your daily prayer. Even when I don't understand why someone left, I trust that it's making space for something better. I bless them, I release them, and I bless myself. If you've recognized this sign in your life, you're not alone. You're not doing anything wrong. You are simply in motion, becoming softly, surely, sacredly. Keep going. We've come now to the 8th and final sign, and this one can feel the most surprising of all. It's the moment when, without any logical sequence or planning, a door simply opens. You might have felt stuck for weeks, even months. You've journaled, you've visualized, you've released what you thought you needed to release. And then, one quiet afternoon, or in the middle of a completely ordinary morning, something shifts. An invitation arrives, an opportunity appears, a person enters. It may not look the way you imagined. In fact, it rarely does. Because the universe doesn't work through your control. It works through your readiness. When you're aligned, when your frequency says, I am willing, I am ready, I trust, the path opens, not through effort, but through alignment. Not because you chased it, but because you prepared your inner house to receive. I want you to pay attention to those moments when something random shows up that seems just a little too perfect. The phone call that feels divinely timed. The job posting that echoes what you journaled a week ago. The idea that floats into your awareness and won't leave. These aren't accidents. These are responses. You are not waiting in silence. You are being prepared in stillness. What shows up may challenge you. It may require courage. It may look like something small, but your heart knows this is part of it. This is the beginning. And your only job is not to doubt. Say it with me gently. I trust the invitation, even if it's unfamiliar. And again, I step through the door, even if I don't know where it leads yet. That's faith. That's manifestation in motion. You see, the opportunities that show up rarely match the picture we held in our head, and that's a gift. Because life isn't trying to give you what you pictured, life is trying to give you what you're truly ready to receive. Sometimes it gives you the relationship in a form you didn't expect. Sometimes it gives you a detour that turns out to be the fast track. Sometimes it gives you a yes that's wrapped in a no. The job you didn't get because something far better was about to arrive. The apartment you lost that led you to a space that changed your life. The person who left and in doing so freed you to meet your soul-aligned partner. Life is always rerouting you, not away from your dream, but toward the deepest version of it. And when that opportunity arrives, trust the feeling. There's a kind of energetic click that happens. You may not know why, but your heart expands a little. You feel a subtle nudge. It may not be loud. It may not come with trumpets or lightning bolts, but it will be insistent. The idea won't leave you. The offer will feel like an echo of something you once hoped for but forgot. That's how manifestation often works. It arrives quietly because you are now quiet enough inside to hear it. So instead of saying, "This can't be it," I want you to say, "This may be it, and I allow it." I allow the gifts to come in strange wrappers. I allow the path to unfold step by step. I allow myself to be surprised. And now, as we come to the close of this journey together, let me offer you something soft and true. You do not need to see every piece of the puzzle before you believe it's coming together. You do not need to know how the next chapter will unfold before you say yes to the process. You do not need to feel certain to feel faithful. Trust isn't certainty. Trust is devotion. Trust is surrender with your heart open. Trust is walking even when the fog hasn't cleared. Trust is planting seeds and blessing the invisible soil. You've already done so much work, so much healing, so much shedding and stretching and waiting and hoping and wondering. You've cried, you've grown, you've stayed when it was hard. That's not nothing, that's everything. So I want you to know this. You're not behind, you're not blocked, you're not broken, you are in process, you are being refined. You are closer than you've ever been because now you're aware of what's shifting inside you. The very fact that you're still here, listening, reflecting, showing up, is evidence of readiness. You wouldn't still be seeking if the answer weren't near. You wouldn't be drawn to these words if your soul weren't whispering, "It's time." That's how the universe moves. It doesn't knock down the door. It sends a breeze through the crack. It rustles the curtain. It stirs your intuition. And if you're quiet enough to feel it, you'll know. You'll know it's time to stop doubting, to stop overthinking, to stop asking if it's working. It's working, even when you don't see it, especially then. So what do you do now? You rest. You let go. You bless what's breaking and what's building. You speak life over your day. You look for the signs, not in the sky, but in your own calm, your own peace, your own rising sense of joy for no reason. These are the signs. These are the new roots. These are the unseen flowers starting to bloom beneath the surface. And they will come, not because you force them, but because you are now aligned. The energy has changed. And when the energy changes, everything must follow. Say this softly with me now. I don't need to chase. I don't need to beg. I simply receive. And again, more slowly. I trust that what's mine is already moving toward me. Is the sigh. And now, let's seal this time together with a sacred affirmation, one that you can speak out loud, whisper into your pillow, or carry in your heart when the noise gets too loud and the waiting feels too long. It's okay to repeat it. It's good to let it soak in. Let's say it together 3 times, not because the words change reality, but because they change you. They shift you into alignment. They bring your spirit home. I trust what I cannot yet see. I trust what I cannot yet see. I trust what I cannot yet see. That is the vibration that opens doors. That is the energy of surrender. That is the magnetic field of a soul that is no longer trying to control, but ready to receive. You are safe. You are supported. You are already being guided. So don't give up now, my dear. Stay in the energy of trust. Stay in the vibration of peace, and life will meet you there right on time.